I think the first time I went to Wisconsin, it wasn't even about the first time I put on my gear. It was about my first official visit there and walking the halls with the coaches and just having that feeling of this is where I want to be. When I was being shown around by some of the guys on the team, you could hear how hard the workouts were, but how they were getting through them together. My first summer there, going into my freshman year, it wasn't pretty. Some of my biggest nerves, some of my biggest fears were after that first day in the weight room. I couldn't do a pull-up, I could barely bench, all that thing. I had so much to learn.
I've known Joe for 14 years now. We first met at Wisconsin. He was an incoming freshman, and I was going into my second year as the strength and conditioning coach for Badger hockey. Yeah, I remember the coaching staff being super excited about him coming in. A young athlete like that comes in and needs to develop and needs to train, and college is probably the best situation to do that in any sport.
It was just about taking a step and when it was going to happen. Was I going to be able to get through that workout? Was it so bad? Was it going to kind of knock me down a rank or not?
Switch! Switch! Switch!
As I got through that, it gave me that confidence, that sense of strength, that I got through some really hard workouts to compete on the ice.
Wasn't fast, he wasn't big, he wasn't strong at the time, but his work ethic and ability to constantly think about training and his development was premier about him.
I remember that my first game, coming out of the Kohl Center, skating around warm-ups and getting some power play time and having a little success with a couple points.
Joe has it now. Pavelski walks out front, shoots and scores. Joe Pavelski.
This is the biggest crowd I've played in. At that age, where your game is still so raw and the emotions are so raw, it just brings out the best of you. Scoring a goal at the Kohl Center is still one of my fondest memories.
During his first year, Pavelski led the team with 45 points and led the nation in freshman scoring. Despite a strong performance, it was a difficult year. The UW faced the top 5 teams 14 times during the league schedule and 15 times overall. They made the NCAA tournament, but lost to Michigan in the first round.
My freshman year, we didn't end the way we wanted to against Michigan. We felt we had a team that could go more.
There was a lot of motivation to do better than we did the year before.
I remember a conversation we had in an apartment after. It was late night, and we kind of just started calling each other out a little bit, like Mac, how didn't you score more goals? I watched you last year. Where you're at, where I see you, you're so much better. And it kind of just went around the room in such a good way that it was just another step in our kind of creation as a team to really have that chip on our shoulder.
We start playing the season, and we were killing teams. We were on fire.
With a 14-game winning streak, the Badgers dominated the season. For Pavelski, it was motivation to work harder.
Joe came to me and he's like, hey, I feel like I got to work on this. I'm like, okay, let's do it after practice.
What can I do extra? How can I kind of speed this process up? We would do a few extra things here and there just to make sure we were on the right track and climbing as fast as we could.
I made a whole specific program as to what he wanted to do extra, on top of our regular training program. Joe and I started doing it, and then one guy comes in, and then 2 guys come in. We had 8 guys out of 25 doing a whole nother workout after practice.
I think the key to my own success with leadership is just coming in early on in my career and establishing my work ethic.
His leadership by example was contagious.
One of the secrets of the pros is that they do their job, do their work. The unique thing about that season was we wanted that one of the #1 seeds going in the tournament, and we were able to get it, and it allowed us to have the regionals in Green Bay, Wisconsin at the Resch Center, and then the Final Four was at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. So we knew if we could take care of our business, we were going to have a path that would go through the state of Wisconsin.
Coming into this game,
for 11th in the nation in overall scoring. The sophomore from Clover, Wisconsin.
We had sold-out buildings and atmospheres that were going to kind of play to our advantage.
Wisconsin fought its way to their first NCAA Frozen Four since 1992.
Reaching out with the stick was Selby, but a shot on the rebound and they score! 4-0 Wisconsin. Pavelski gets the hat trick for the Badgers.
The kid from Plover was on his way to his third championship. Pavelski also did what some said was impossible.
The 21-year-old from Clover, Wisconsin, Joe Pavelski, drafted by the San Jose Sharks in the 7th round in 2003, was a second-team selection in the WCHA this season, and he has been this game's most outstanding player without a doubt.
As it'll be Brian Boyle on the face-off against Joe Pavelski, and we are underway. This is for the championship Division I college hockey, and the up there. They were in the middle of a line change. The Badgers were. Street will come back to get it, and Street lost it. Rolled in front, backhander, score! Cup and heads to the front of the net. There he is, and he scores! Tying the game up. Gilbert playing the point on the power play. Earl in the offside cover. Scores! 3-2-1 shot. Save! Wisconsin wins!
Coming off a 2006 national championship with the University of Wisconsin. That's when the Sharks came knocking on the door, and as a kid coming from where I did and knowing the dreams I had of playing the NHL, I took my opportunity and ran with it.
Yeah, when I was a young boy, in my rolled up corduroys, not knowing what it was to seize the day. And now that I'm older and a little bit wiser, if I could talk to that boy, this is what I'd say. Yeah, I'd say run down the street, raise up your heartbeat, yeah, just a run.